Have you ever thought to get your client's artwork to stand out on Camo is just too difficult? Well, on this episode of Decoration Mess, we're going to show you some solutions to put those thoughts to rest. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Decoration Mess. I'm Stephen Bear from S&S Activewear, and I'm joined by Josh Ellsworth from STAHLS. So, Josh, today we are going to cover a question, which is we are hunting for new designs to put on difficult patterns, i.e. camo.
Yeah.
Everybody constantly asks, like, what do I do with camo? How do I get my logo to come out on all these? Because there's a lot of different patterns in camo. So
yeah, and so any pattern product needs to be approached very carefully, especially with design, because I've seen a million examples of bad designs, and our viewers probably have as well. And so today we want to talk about a few ideas to create good designs, and along the way we're going to decorate some different types of applications and some different items. And so I think it'll give you some ideas on perhaps new ideas on how to sell camo into your client base as well. And so the first and most basic is by going with just a single color design.
Okay.
And so when you're decorating camo, a white graphic or something lighter in color onto typically a darker camo pattern is always going to stand out and always going to be a great way to interpret nearly any design or any logo. However, when we're talking about camo, we've talked about sublimated goods before, which can happen, but we see a lot of these camos being roller printed. And so there is a risk of that pattern wanting to show through your print. So you have to be careful to pick a little bit of a thicker transfer, especially if we're just doing white onto it, to make sure that we maintain a clean white throughout the life of the item. So what do you say we decorate this hat? Talk to me a little bit about this.
Yeah, this is the LC10. So this has 14 different camo patterns. So everything from Realtree to Mossy oak, and then the list just goes on with camo. But it's a cotton poly blend. And it's, adjustable, which gives you a lot of versatility.
Good. And to conquer headwear, there's no better way to print headwear than with our 360
I was just about to
IQ.
say, yeah, I love this machine.
Yeah, we featured it before on Decoration Myths, but in case this is your first time watching, this press is heated from the top and the bottom, which allows us to decorate these structured caps, which this is, without creasing or scorching. So it is the right equipment for the job. As you can see, I'm flipping the sweatband out so the heat can travel through. I'm going to lock the hold down device to get that cap nice and flush against the base. One Platen does all style of adult caps. And then I'm going to position my design. We're going directly over the seam here. And we're just going to position that design, hold it again to kind of warm the adhesive. So it's not going to move on us.
There's heat.
Yep. And then we're going to cover it with the 1/8 inch foam cover pad. And let's grab that handle and lock it down, Stephen. What do you say? All the way till you feel it click.
Boom.
So we're at 280 degrees.
Man, that's cool. I like it.
On top.
Sorry.
That's all right. 320 degrees on bottom. We're running this at 45 seconds, and that's giving it plenty of time to get through the pad and to heat from underneath so we get good adhesion on the flock transfer. And so what people love about this press is that one operator can run 2 machines. And so if you're decorating a job with a lot of hats, I literally can be loading this one, have another one beside, and one operator very easily can increase their throughput by about, from 1 hat to 1.7 hats, right? And so you get that increase of about 70% in throughput with the same amount of time for the operator.
I like it.
You hear
Lock
beeping?
and load. Yeah.
It's about to go.
Yeah.
Right?
Very
and so we
cool.
unlock the hold down device, we get the hat off of the heat. And then all we're going to do is we're going to take the corner of the transfer and we're going to peel it and reveal our completed design.
Super clean.
Yeah, and so you can see we had the fuzzy flock style here. And so we get a design that stands off of the print, and we get something that is clean, right? And so this is about as easy as it gets. And I know if you're decorating pattern fabrics, you can get your customer's logo to a single color. Quick, easy, lots of choices and heat transfer styles that can work in single color.
That's great.
All right, let's step it up a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, so here we have the LCB10. So what's unique about this, again, a cotton poly blend, but it has colorways that attract the female audience. So now we're moving more into fashion. And then, you know, again, whatever logo you put on there, you can also get that female audience. So I'm noticing you're holding that.
Yeah, PVC patch, right?
It's a nice butterfly. Yeah. Jumps out.
Yeah, just something interesting. And so when you're decorating camo fabrics, another option is to take that single color and make it the outline, right? And so we've taken a 2-color sort of tonal design here with lilac and white. We've put a nice little offset or border in white around it to make our print pop. And this is a PVC patch. A lot of people think you need to sew PVC patches to make them durable. The reality is you don't. However, I do need to make sure I line it up straight. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip this inside out. You see I'm kind of supporting it and holding it there.
Yeah, to keep your mark.
Keep my mark, yeah. So I know that butterfly needs to go on upside down. I'm just gonna make sure this is kind of loosely positioned on the press. I'm going to position that PVC patch into place.
Easy.
Cover it with the foam cover pad. Yeah, and so a lot of people say, I'll go ahead and lock it down. This press can be used for really any type of patch. And patches are a great option when we're decorating camouflage fabrics. So plenty of opportunities for decorating these types of products.
Nice. And then that patch, I mean, with all that heat, because it's felt rubberized, it's obviously ready to go. Or you wouldn't put it on there, but...
Well, yeah, because we're coming from underneath, right? And so 45 seconds is a long time. And so that's why we use the pad so it doesn't scorch from the top. It's giving plenty of time for the heat to come up underneath to reach the melting point of that adhesive and create something durable. Now, one tip I do like to give as we're down to about 8 seconds left is we're kind of pressing that patch into a curved surface on this beanie. And so I'm gonna get it off of the press and kind of lay it flat as quick as I can.
Okay.
Right? Because I don't want it to permanently stay in that curved surface.
In the vent.
Right? And so you just kind of put it in a flat area, apply a little contact pressure to it, and then let's go ahead and...
But it's ready to manipulate that fast.
Yeah, ready to manipulate. And so we have something that's on there, and it's on there to stay.
That is very cool.
So pretty cool, pretty high fashion. Take a look at that, folks. Really nice, easy to do. And so...
Logo says everything.
Yeah.
It's completely changed the hat, which, I mean, that's why we're here to talk about, you know, switching things around, especially with the camo pattern. So,
yeah, and I know we have some other styles more in hoodies and also t-shirts that we want to get to. And we're going to give you some other design tips over on our Hotronix Autoclam heat press with these.
Let's move to machines. Let's start with the t-shirt. This is 100% ring spun cotton from Code 5. This is roller printed, as you had mentioned. Right, so it's 5.5 ounces, and you know, Code 5 does a great job. And you know, this comes in 2 separate Realtree patterns. So, you know, t-shirts are popular. So, what do you got for us here?
Yeah, and so the design technique I want to show, and let's go ahead and get it onto the press so I can lay that out and show you. Is we're just going to load it per normal, get all the seam structure off of the press surface. T-shirts are about the easiest thing to press. Not too worried about roller printed at all. But what I'm doing is we're going to use that same flock material we used on the hat. And instead of using our standard white only and white outline color, we're going to incorporate a layered design. And so this is actually a mixed media design. So we're using an outline color and a little bit bigger offset than we normally would do. So there's enough separation for the eye to really have the graphic be legible, have the text be legible on the graphic. And so this is a t-shirt and a decoration that you can imagine, you know, selling for any local town, maybe at a hardware store or for camping or something like that. Oh, that's why we test our pressure. Yeah. Right? Didn't have enough pressure.
A little too loose.
Yeah. All right. So in this case, I'm going to tap down on the background layer just enough to get it to temporarily hold.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go ahead and get the backing. It needs to hold more than that, so I don't have enough pressure quite yet.
So you're not doing a full press on this one?
No.
You're just setting it because then the ultimate,
Yeah, gotcha. So I'm doing 2 things really. 1, I'm trying to save time.
Yeah.
And 2, I don't want it to be where I can't line up my next layer because this first layer has been under heat and started to shrink. Even a 32nd of an inch can cause alignment issues. So I like to tack it on first, and then you can take your second layer, like really quick, and you see how easy that is? Most people are afraid of this. But if you set up your artwork correctly by putting a contour or an offset around it, it lays in perfect. And like, that's legible, nice and
Yeah,
clean.
it's already developing so nice.
Yep, so lock it down, 12 seconds.
Now
it'll
you're
automatically
in for
open.
the solid press.
Yeah, yeah. So both layers of adhesive are getting the full time that they need.
Gotcha. Mission accomplished right here. That pops out right at you. And so always clean.
Yeah, so pretty sharp.
Love
And
the
so
work.
again, we're focused on the graphic primarily. So using an offset color, any color, you can get a little bit more creative with the graphic by incorporating different textures like the flock, mixing medias together, gives it a really nice clean look, but something that's just a little bit different than a white only print.
That's great.
All right. So
that's a nice weighted tee. And so
yeah, I really
that's
like
a good
that
piece.
style.
So let's get into something heavier.
Yeah, so talk to me about this.
Yeah, so this is the built-in Gaiter fleece from J America. They've done a great job. This was kind of originally brought into that year we all remember, 2020.
Yeah.
But now it's really gravitated into its own piece for cold weather and for hunting purposes. You have that flip-up gaiter. So it's really, really convenient. So here again, you know, you've got the nice Realtree pattern, and we need something to pop on that, right?
Yeah, so I love this one. And so let's load this hoodie up, give you some techniques on a hoodie. A couple things we need to be concerned with is the pouch is up on the pressing surface.
Okay.
Because I'm doing a logo that's way up here and not really close to the pouch of the hoodie, I'm not as concerned about, you know, the pocket impacting the print. So I'm just gonna load it on, try to get it nice and straight. I can feel the moisture coming out of the garment onto my hand. So I definitely wanna do a preheat to get rid of some of that moisture. Also to check my pressure, right? And because of the thickness of the fleece, I don't need quite as much pressure here.
So you're not worried about this at all?
I'm not. And the reason why is, so a couple things. One, if this were just say maybe 100% polyester hoodie and not cotton, I would be worried about that getting pressure and scorching.
Sure.
But because I like to see most of it, and I know there's no risk to scorching that at, you know, this cotton fabrication, I like to see more of the shirt. I like to just load it. My graphic placement is way up here, way away from the seam. So I'm not worried about that impacting my pressure.
Perfect.
Yeah, and so let's talk about this graphic before we get it onto the garment. So this is a sublimated patch. We call it CAD Prints Permatwill, but there's different styles of fabric that you can use.
We've seen that before. It's nice.
Yeah, I like this. And you see, like, we're using space and color in a patch format. So patches are one of the best products, I think, to decorate onto pattern fabrics and camo because they match the style of the fabric. We can get some colors that are kind of in the same color family as the camo itself, but still, again, very legible because we're using the nice cream color as an offset for the eye and a break in the action.
It looks good right where it is, but now we're going to place it.
Yeah, so pinch top shoulder, placing it. In this case, it is sublimated, so I'm going to put this little cover sheet over it so I don't ruin my large cover sheet and I can keep reusing it. Again, the garment's
so you're doubling up at this point.
Yeah, the garment's not sublimated, but the patch is, which is why I'm covering the patch.
Okay.
In this case, I follow the recipe for the twill. It requires 300 degrees. I'm going to increase the time to 20 seconds. Takes a little more time with our top heat only to get through that to the adhesive of the patch.
Great. Well, this is fantastic. So, I mean, you mentioned fabrication, which I think is fascinating. It's all about doing the prep, right? And then we were talking earlier about, you know, the supply STAHLS gives you so you can start testing products. Can you get into that? I know we're in the middle of this one.
That's all right. It'll do the work for me. I just got to take it off. So, so if you wanted to try some of the products that we're talking about, if you go to stahls.com and navigate just in the search bar, you can type samples. There are a ton of free samples. And so you add those to your cart, set up an account, and you can get an actual, won't be this exact patch, but you can get a CAD Prints Permatwill patch, and you can try it on your heat press. You can get the heat transfer vinyl products like the flock that we used. You can either get them ready to apply or ready to cut. And so a big part of what we do is we try to equip decorators with samples so they can test fabrics, test finishes, see how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to get in the back of the shop. You make it this great investment in a Hottronics, and boom, you got samples to play around with. So
yeah, you got to try it. So what do you think of that finished result?
This is super clean. And I love the outline, and it really makes the logo, like you said, it creates that space.
Yeah, and you know, we've chosen a left chest logo, but this is a product that people use for full fronts, and so there's no reason you can't use a fabric-based product like this sublimated twill to be able to decorate camos all day long. There's no risk of the print coming through because of the thickness of the fabric. Just an overall great choice here.
I love it. And then, you know, it begs the question, what if you want to bring camo to your product line?
Yes, this is my little bonus content, right? That I wanted to make sure that we had a chance to show off, because sometimes you want the pattern or the print or the camo in the actual decoration itself. So we are operating with the same Gaiter, built-in Gaiter blank from J America in black. And STAHLS is actually licensed to create transfers with the Realtree pattern in the print. Cool. And so we can bring in different colors. We can reach different demographics by experimenting with those different colors, different audiences. Plenty of opportunity to bring that pattern to create a complementary piece. So now, what if I had, you know, the same camo pattern merchandised in a t-shirt this way, but in the decoration on the hoodie? Just another way to think about it and sell it to your clients. I mean, it's all about service and opportunity, right? So this has just been another eye-opening session here at STAHLS DFC. And so, Josh, thank you for all the time that you put in, and man, the detail, and just awesome. So we will look forward to seeing you next time. But all these great camo products that we featured today will be listed in the items below. So just go down there and click on it. Josh, thanks again. Yeah, thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.